basically connected with the accusative case, we have a lot of verbs that basically require more than one person for the verb to, or more than one thing for the verb to take place. So if I'm speaking, I have to speak something. I have to read something. I have to drive something. And that's one of the reasons we're learning all of these new cool verbs such as speaking and reading and eating, important verbs that you can use over and over again, and that are not the easiest thing in the world, but they're not the hardest either. So basically, you know how I've been stressing that you absolutely have to make sure that your regular conjugation endings are something you don't have to think about too much, that are just internalized. Here's why. So basically, even now that we get to slightly irregular verbs, those endings are still identical to the ones you've been learning since day one. So you've been learning ich heiße, wie heißt du, ich komme aus Brooklyn, woher kommst du? Er kommt aus Queens. Wir lernen alle Deutsch. Ihr lernt Deutsch. So we've been already using the endings, which are going to be identical to the endings on these verbs if you pay attention to them. What's highlighted here in the middle is the fact that in the du and the RCS form, so basically your second and third person singular conjugation, the vowel in these verbs is going to change. So our infinitive sprechen, to speak, is one of the verbs where the E changes to an I. So that means it's still ich spreche. We've already learned that when we look at wir for any verb, wir is identical to our infinitive. Same thing here. Wir sprechen. And that also means that sie, they, and sie with the capital S, you formal, are all going to be identical to wir, identical to the infinitive. Sie sprechen. And ihr is formed the same as usual, so it's just sprecht. However, once it comes to du und CS, so du sprichst. Ich spreche Deutsch. Du sprichst auch Deutsch. So I speak German, you also speak German. Er spricht kein Deutsch. Er spricht Französisch. He doesn't speak any German. He speaks French. So basically, and the easiest way, the best way to just sort of memorize these changes is to actually speak through the conjugations out loud. So ich spreche, du sprichst. Ich lese, I read, du liest. So ich lese ein Buch, du liest die Zeitung. Sie liest die New York Times. Wir lesen unser Deutschbuch. So again, the only place where you have to worry about the vowel changing is in the du and the SES form. So, and in this case, the E changes to an IE. Fahren, to drive. One of the things we introduced in this chapter, we've been looking at cars, and your vocabulary includes various methods of transportation in this chapter. So fahren, to drive, ich fahre, so ich fahre mit der Subway, du fährst mit dem Auto, sie fährt mit dem Fahrrad, wir fahren alle zur Queen's College. So we all drive to Queen's College. So ich fahre, du fährst. Laufen, to run. So, ich laufe kein Marathon. Laufst du ein Marathon? Meine Freundin läuft Marathon. So, I don't run any marathons. Do you run marathons? My friend runs marathons. So, ich laufe, du läufst. And effectively, you have an entire list of verbs that you are required to memorize, all of these. And so you should be learning them and know them pretty much by Monday. Basically, they're not hard, but you do have to practice them. And I'd say to begin with, if you struggle with verbs and with endings, I do strongly recommend writing out the conjugation tables. But you'll notice right away as we go through these that these are all verbs that we use very, very frequently in day-to-day conversation. So one of the reasons that they're so important is because you will use them a lot. So we have essen. So ich esse, du isst, to eat. This is why last chapter we let you talk about your favorite beverages and didn't let you talk about food. It's because trinken is a regular verb, whereas essen is a stem changer. Geben, to give. This one's easy to remember because it's ich gebe, but du gibst. So it changes to the I, just like we have in English, to give. Nehmen, to take. So, ich nehme meine Medizin, du nimmst Deutsch. Again, spelling for these is a little tricky, so you'll want to go to your textbook and basically just work on writing out the conjugation tables. Sprechen. Ich spreche Deutsch, du sprichst auch Deutsch. And versprechen is just based off of sprechen, but so if sprechen means to speak, versprechen means to promise. Ich verspreche, du versprichst. And the main stem verb is sprechen, so that's where the stem vowel change happens. Werden, to become. So, ich werde langsam müde, I'm getting tired. Du wirst auch müde, you're also becoming tired. Next, we have our E to IE switch. So, lesen, like we saw in the last slide. So, ich lese ein Buch, du liest die Zeitung. And sehen. So, ich sehe einen Film, siehst du auch einen Film. So, sehen is to see or to watch. Next, we have A's that add umlauts in the do and the SES form. Backen, which is to bake. So, ich backe einen Kuchen. Meine Oma backt einen besseren Kuchen. I bake a cake, my grandma bakes a better cake. Fahren, ich fahre Auto, du fährst auch Auto. Halten, to stop. So, ich muss hier halten, hält der Bus hier. I have to stop here, does the bus stop here? Hält der Bus hier. Lassen, to leave or to drop. Ich lasse, du lässt. Schlafen, very important, to sleep. Ich schlafe nicht genug. Schläfst du genug? I don't sleep enough. Do you sleep enough? Schlafen, schläfst. And tragen, to carry or to wear. So, ich trage ein Kleid, du trägst Jeans. Waschen, to wash. So, ich wasche meine Wäsche und du wäschst deine Haare. And last but not least, laufen, where the A, it's listed separately, but it basically functions the same as the column before. It's just that the vowel is an AU, but that A also adds an umlaut, so it becomes Oi. So laufen, ich laufe, du läufst. And we're